Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Cahill and welcome back to my channel. I always see the new year as a reset. It is, snap, 31st of December is the old me, 1st of January is the new me, and I'm just going to do everything completely differently and I'm going to be a better person. And then, a few weeks roll by and I'm back to what I usually do because it's not a 100% reset. I do actually need to work on becoming the better version of me that I want to be. It's not just going to magically happen overnight as it goes from 2023 to 2024. And keeping that in mind this year and not thinking too big or putting too much confidence into myself, I need to think a little bit more logically and really take into account what I believe I can do rather than what I dream I could do. So we're going to start small. There are a few things that I want to aim for in 2024, things that I would like to do, ways in which I would like to do certain things, just to try and make my life a little bit more easier, a little bit more consistent in regards to the whole writing side of everything, the creative side of me. Throw in a few bits of self-care because I'm notorious for not doing any at all and burning myself out super easily, which is where my lack of creativity and motivation comes from throughout the entire year, because I do too much in one big chunk and then I stop. That's not a sustainable way of doing things, and I tell myself that all the time, but somehow I fall into those bad habits of lots and lots of work for a couple of weeks, nothing for a month. So we're going to try our best, and we as in the royal we, which is just me. I'm going to do my best to sort of break myself out of that habit and push myself into a more manageable one. It's going to take a lot of work, and I don't like a lot of work because my brain doesn't focus on a lot of work, it focuses on nothing. So it's going to be very interesting to say the least. There are 6 main things that I want to focus on for the year of 2024, which are going to help me move towards the type of writer that I want to be, that I dream about being, which is a consistent writer. We're going to get my first goal, my first aim out of the way pretty quickly. It is the same goal, same aim that I put every single year in one of these videos. It is my reading goal, which is 12 books, 1 book per month for the entire year of 2024. I've been notoriously terrible at completing this goal. I never read more than 2 books a year, except for this year. This year so far, I have read 11 books. Okay, congratulate me. I am fantastic. The phase of me reading has passed though. I've only got one more book to hit my goal for the first time in like 5 years. I'm so excited, yet not bothered to read that final book in order to complete it. But you know what? 11 books is still a win in my account. We'll see how I get to at the end of December. I've read a healthy mix of YA and middle grade this year. Middle grade because obviously at the beginning of the year I was working a lot on Abingdon House, which is my middle grade series, and YA obviously because I mostly write YA. I really have a difficult time reading YA. I have done since reading Six of Crows, Cookie Kingdom. I 100% believe that those books ruined the genre for me because nothing ever compares to those 2 books I have read so far, which is really sad. But I'm going to keep trying YA obviously in order to hopefully get that spark back. I want to start reading books and enjoying books rather than reading books just to read books and then be disappointed by the fact that it sounded really good but it really wasn't that good. One of my specific reading goals this year is to read something that is not fantasy. I'm a fantasy girl, okay? I love fantasy. I only really ever read fantasy, and nowadays I don't go to any other genre at all whatsoever. So one of my main reading goals is to read something that is not a fantasy. It's going to be effort, and it's not like I never used to read stuff that wasn't fantasy in the past. I used to be an avid fan of Jodi Picoult books. That was a very long time ago, back when I was in university though. I have sort of geared away from anything that is not dragons and magic related, but I think in order to broaden my horizons, in order to sort of see other ways of writing, putting plot together, characters, this, that, and the other. I need to read other genres just to deepen my own knowledge of writing in general. So if anybody has any recommendations for any YA novels that is not fantasy, and also not romance, because I don't do romance. I don't vibe with romance. YA romance annoys me so much. Please let me know. I also do intend to read a couple of craft books this year. To learn, to get a deeper insight into certain things. I don't know what craft books I would want to read yet. I don't know whether I want to do a craft book just specifically for writing, or whether I want something more specific to plot or more specific to characters. I suppose I'll research some and then see what interests me in regards to that. But yes, expanding my horizons with reading, and reading more, not just to refill my creative well, but also just for enjoyment and relaxation, is something I really want to focus on next year. Something I've realised over the past few years is that a big to-do list doesn't sit well with me. I get very, very overwhelmed if I know there's a lot of things that I need to do, and I get so overwhelmed that I end up not doing any of it, even though I know it is really important. So, for instance, in regards to writing, my writing to-do list is query Abingdon House, write the second book for Abingdon House. I need to redraft another 3 books. I need to brainstorm for another book. I need to reread another book. It's a very, very long laundry list of things that I need to do in regards to writing. And I know I need to do all of those things. Because I need to do all of those things, my brain will not pick something to sit down and focus on because there's too much to think about. So part of the issue that I had with that was monthly goals, where each and every single month I would have a couple of things to focus on for that month. One of the problems that I had with is picking new goals every single month was difficult to start with. 2, I think I'm swapping through projects a bit too fast, because if I get comfortable in one book or something and then the next month comes and I move on to something else, it sort of throws me a little bit. I think monthly goals ends up being too many goals, and then if I don't do something from January, then technically I've still got to do it in February because I have not completed it, and then that piles on, gets longer and longer, and then I'm done, I'm clocked out. I don't want to focus on anything anymore. So this year my aim is to do quarterly goals, or quests, quarterly quests that I need to complete each and every quarter of the year. The purpose of that is to, 1, have less goals, 2, it gives me more focus on what I need to focus on. I have more time to work on all of those things. It's not such a short deadline, so I don't feel myself feeling rushed. I don't get burnt out because I've left things to the last minute and I have to finish by the end of the month because next month I need to do something else. And I don't like to carry goals on from month to month because I shouldn't have to do that. The goal should be complete, but then it's not complete and I feel like a failure. My head runs around like this constantly about everything. So quarterly goals, I think, are going to help slow me down. It's going to help me be able to spend more time working on the projects or whatever it is I have picked for each and every one of those quarters. And hopefully that will make me a little bit more productive and get some better work out of me. Whether I want to mix my personal goals and my writing goals in one quarterly to-do list, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how I would want to break down any personal goals I have in regards to self-care, living my life, meditation, health, exercise, etc., etc. That's something that I have not thought about yet. And I'm putting off thinking about it because, again, it's too many things to think about. There's plenty of things in my life that I want to do differently. So once I sit down and make a list of things I would like to do, I guess then I can split them up into quarters based on what I want to tackle first, what I feel is most important, or things I know that I want to spend my energy on, because I always have more energy at the beginning of the year in regards to things like lists and to-do lists and goals. Because it's the beginning of the year, I have that oomph to get it done. So I need to think in terms of what I want to be a priority versus what is not as much of a priority, which I can probably stick later in the year. Goals are difficult. Goals are hard because I don't know what goals it is I want to do. And if I pick this goal for these next 3 months, am I going to be bothered to work on that project, or am I going to want to work on something different instead and ruin what I've picked? It's a very difficult thing, and I don't know why I don't banish goals completely. I do know why I don't banish goals completely, because if I don't have some form of something in my head to work towards, I'm not actually going to get anything done at all. So again, it's a fine line that I need to balance between picking the goal, wanting to work on the goal, making myself work on the goal, feeling like I can achieve the goal. It's my brain's not cut out for stuff like this. It's really not. Speaking of goals, one of my goals this year is to try and remain a bit more organised, and one of the ways I'm going to do that is to go back to bullet journaling. It's been a year since I last bullet journaled. I did so in 2022, did not do so in 2023. The reason I did not do bullet journaling in 2023 is because in 2022, I did January, I did February, I did March. I set up for April and then didn't touch the bullet journal once since I set up for April. So bullet journaling for me very easily, very quickly became something for me to do once a month, to be a little bit creative in creating the monthly spread, the weekly spreads, and then for me not to touch again. And I just wasn't bothered to do that anymore because it's a waste of my time if I'm not going to effectively use what it is that I am creating. This year is different though. This year I'm determined to use my bullet journal. It's here. It's this lovely Fay Papier Co. It's got the cute little mug and the gold and the stars, so I'm super excited to use this. I have specifically, and I know where I fall short, is that I need to set up every single month. And it's one of those things where I start off really strong because I'm excited to do it, and then I stop being excited, and then I stop doing it. So literally these past few months I have done the bullet journal. Literally I have obviously not filmed everything, but I have drawn out, I don't know if you can see that really well, I have literally drawn out every single month. Every single spread has been set up ready for me to complete fully and film. I wanted to get it all filmed by the end of the year. I started in September super excited, and then by October I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Slowly but surely, it only takes me about 40 minutes to do a spread. Like, that's nothing in my day really. I wanted to get it all finished by the end of the year, so literally it's just a diary that's all ready for me to use in 2024. I don't think I'm going to get it all done by the end of the year, but it is just something I'm going to need to keep on top of. So I do use it, and I do utilize it the way that I want it to be utilised, which is to organise everything to do with my writing life, to organise everything to do with my actual life as well, things I want to do, things I want to achieve. And that's what I want it to be. And since this year is focusing more on trying my best to work towards being the person writer that I want to be, I'm going to need to focus very, very much on getting it completed. Within the bullet journal, I have something else I'm going to be focusing on. It's a year-long tarot spread. Now, before this year, I've never been really interested in tarot. Like, I've seen it was interesting. And I completely blame my best friend, might as well be my sister Nikita, for this, because she has a tarot deck and we mucked around with it one time and I thought, this is really cool. I like this. So I shall use my tarot cards as a sort of mindfulness exercise for the entire year. The plan is to pull a 3-card spread each and every single week and sort of examine and interpret the cards and their meanings and apply how I interpret those cards to my life and see if, you know, me being mindful and more thoughtful of where I've been and where I am and where I need to go is going to help motivate me and push me to get where I want to be at the end of the year, which is feeling a bit more settled and happy with what I have achieved and the work that I've put into everything that I do, which hasn't been the best over the past few years. I've always been a little bit disappointed in myself. Not to say that I haven't made progress, I have, and that's great, but I've not made the progress that I have wanted to make, and obviously that's a bit disappointing to me. But we're going to see if the introspection helps me at all be a little bit happier, a little bit more grateful, a little bit more content with what I've done, where I've been, and where I'm going over the year. I think it's really important for me to stop and sit and think about things like that, because while I will sort of look back on the past to go, yes, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I don't often stop to think too deeply about what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I don't stop to think about how I'm potentially hurting myself or my mindset with the way I do things, and I don't stop to think about how to fix those things going forward so it does not happen again. Case in point, I'm constantly getting burned out because I know what I do is wrong, but I don't ever stop to think about not doing it that way, because that is the way that I happen to do things. So yeah, really excited to get that done and sorted, and looking forward to seeing how it works and where it takes me. On to writing specific goals, writing experiments. I'm going to be back with those writing experiments for my thing a couple of years ago. Writing in different fonts, writing in different colours, doing, you know, Elon Musk's 5-minute productivity hack, things like that. Trying all of these different ways to make the writing experience more fun, easier, to see if, you know, different productivity hacks work for me, different ways of writing work for me. So I've sort of stopped doing those because I sort of fell off the wagon of actually, you know, trying new things and, you know, making content for my YouTube channel. Did better than last year this year, at least there's that. But I really want to feel that spirit of writing again. And obviously any of these experiments that I do are going to be geared towards things that I think I need to work on, or things that I want to maybe change, things I want to maybe try a little bit differently to see if it works better. So managing my motivation or routine, giving myself different writing challenges in order to practice writing more, study the art of writing, give myself a thoughtful challenge and to sort of better understand writing. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it very well. Basically, I want to try new things in order to get better at what it is that I do. Okay, I think it'll be a fun learning curve for me. I think I've gotten comfortable with the way that I write and the way that I plan, I do characters, things like that. And I think I'm slowly figuring out that the way that I write doesn't work. Or it's not that it doesn't work, it's that I feel like I'm not 100% happy with the content that I'm outputting, with the way that I'm doing my writing. Whether that is how I'm outlining because I can't focus long enough to do a proper outline, whether that is how I create my characters because I don't create my characters or anything before I start writing. I learn about my characters through the drafts, but I think that is holding me back with progressing through my drafts as easily and as quickly as I would like to. Story structure and things like that, I think I really need to sit down and do more study and examining of story structure, character arcs, things like that, in order to really give my writing a boost I feel like I'm not at the level of writing I think I should be based on how long I have been writing for. I'm sort of idling here because that's where I'm comfortable, where in reality I should be a little bit higher because I've been writing for so long. I'm not learning anymore, I'm just doing what I have learnt rather than pushing myself to be better. I should be at level 7, but I'm at level 5 and I'm okay at level 5 because level 5 works for me and level 5 is easy for me. And I'm afraid, I think, to push myself to learn more to get to level 7. Level 7 is hard work. Level 5 is easy and I'm comfortable with easy. I can't... 2024, I think, needs to be me pushing myself, and I need to push myself. I can't let myself continue to just idle where I am, because I think that's part of what is making me not super happy and content with the writing that I am putting out. It's a difficult thing. It really is. I'm gonna do it. Although, to be fair, that point of thinking leads me straight into the next thing that I want to work on, which is project progress. I have a lot of projects, okay? I have Abingdon House, They Lead the Hunt, Beneath the Hawthorn Lies, and So We Covet, Of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things, Birdwhistle House, which is my new novel, which is so difficult to outline and plan and brainstorm. So I've got 6 in total, not including any of the shelved novels that I have that I really want to start working on again. I've got too much to focus on in order to start working on any of them though. So 2024 is all about progress in all of my projects, because I haven't actually made much progress in any of my projects over this past year, which is a terrifying thing to think about, because I really should have made a lot more progress in all of my novels than I actually have. And it's not like I haven't made any progress at all, but I haven't touched so many of these projects since the beginning of the year, and they're just stuck in the same place they've been for like a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years now, and that's not good enough. So 2024, I really want to get a push on all of these projects, whether that is spending more time focusing on a single project and getting that to a new place before moving on to a different project and getting that up to the next phase, or whether that is picking 2 projects and spending equal amounts of time each and every single month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, working on those projects so I'm not just focused on one thing and getting bored, and then moving those into place to then have another project ready and waiting to then start that process all over again. I get bored very easily working on my projects, which is why I always juggle so many. I haven't done a good job juggling them so far this year. And I think one of the issues is at the moment is because all of them are sort of in the same place. So I am rewriting And So We Covet. I am rewriting Osase Owit. Well, I've just finished rewriting Osase Owit because I did that in November. I am rewriting Beneath the Hawthorn Lies. I need to rewrite book 2 of Abingdon House. So that's 4 out of 6 novels, projects, which are in the rewriting stage. Boring when I rewrite because I've already written these books and now I have to write them again, and then I have to write them again. And the joy of rewriting has left the building, it's gone. But I think I get bored and I stall and I don't make as much progress as I want because everything is just in the same place. Everything needs rewriting. I haven't written the first draft of They Lead the Hunt yet, but it feels like I'm rewriting it because it's a 0 draft going into a first draft. So technically is it? Yeah, it is. So technically I've written the draft, so really I'm rewriting that as well, except just going from 0 to first draft instead of first to second draft. Everything is just at the rewriting stage, and that's just bored me. So I don't have a specific plan to counter that yet I don't know how to make rewriting more interesting for me, more fun for me. Making it a collaborative effort, having a critique partner or something like that, someone to talk to about these projects as I rewrite them, will probably give me a little bit of an oomph. That's a whole different thing that I need to work on that I really don't want to think about now, because while having a solid critique partner for 1-2 of my projects, or having a few critique partners for a few of my projects, has always been my goals over the years, because I think I work best. I say collaboratively, obviously it's not quite a collaboration. I work best with a sounding board. I work best with feedback, and I work best with being pushed. I suck with social aspects, and getting to a place with someone where I'm comfortable and they're comfortable enough to be working so much together and helping each other out with projects. So while that I know would boost, that's a whole other thing that I need to worry about. I'm not gonna do it now, but I need to try and find something solo that is going to sort of help me push to get all of these projects done. I don't know what that is yet. Maybe that's something I can sort of do in my monthly experiments. I'm planning different ways to keep myself motivated for my novels. This is the best I've got so far, which is just mood boards of all of my novels on my background on my computer. I don't ever see them though, because I've got stuff up over the top of them and I've got no space really to put them anywhere else. So we'll find something to do, but making good, clear, conscious progress on all of my novels. I want all of my novels to be in a different place at the end of the year than they were at the beginning of the year. And whether that is I've gone from rewriting for draft 3 to rewriting for draft 4, it's still rewriting, but it's a different draft, so it's a different place. That is one of the most important things I need to focus on for 2024. A lot of work now that I've listed it all. I've got too many things to focus on, and hopefully by listing them all I've not just completely freaked myself out about doing any of it, but we've still got a few weeks till 2024. I'm not doing any writing, or I'm not going to push myself to do any writing during December, so I can start fresh in January, so I can sort of take a break and get over anything and get over any burnout which I feel might be happening. So when January starts, I can go in nice, fresh, rest, relaxed, with a clear vision of what I'm going to do for the beginning of the year, how I'm going to do it, and a clear end goal for the first quarter. And then once again sort of reset for quarter 2, and so on and so forth. I'm going to do so well in January. I'm going to suck every other month of the year. I can see it now. 2024 is going to be the year. I say that every year. One year it's going to be true. So those are the things I'm going to focus on for 2024. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any big plans for the next year, and I will see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.